Now, eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto is following the conference and he joins us with the latest there. Moloko, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, Mxolisi there being the new leader in the Free State of the ANC. How is the new leadership, how are they being received there?
Hello, Byron. Well, inside the plenary, when the names of the newly elected chairperson, Mxolisi Dukwana, and those who were elected along with him on his slide, when those names were announced, the overwhelming number of people were cheering and they were quite excited. Not surprising, because those people obviously won. And of course, you will always have people who are unhappy. We spoke to several of them immediately after the announcement was made. I must say that it is a clean sweep for the slate of Mxolisi Dukwana, who was the convener of the ANC in the Free State until today. The position of convener, Byron, is equivalent to the position of chairperson. And of course, he defeated Sissin Tombela, who was the deputy convener until today. And she is the boss of Mxolisi Dukwana in government as premier, and Dukwana is the MEC of Kokta. We know that Mxolisi Dukwana has the ear of the president. He actually is one of the first few people to openly defy and denounce the former Secretary General of the ANC, Ace Magashule, who for a very long time was the chairperson of the ANC in the Free State. And previously, they worked together, of course, until there was a fallout. So the results simply reflect the fact that the people who are now elected, who are in charge of the province, are supportive of President Cyril Ramaphosa and, of course, also Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula. We tried also to speak to some of the losing delegates. We had one of them who said that she was part of the observers, and she did try to raise what she believed were discrepancies, and as they were still trying to tally the branches and the number of delegates, and she says that she was bulldozed allegedly by Mr. David Mahlobo, and she's saying that she's going to be joining some of the unhappy ANC members to go to court and challenge this particular conference. We also spoke to Premier Sissin Tombela, who told us that she congratulates Mxolisi Dukwana for winning this, and she's saying, look, it was not easy for a woman to contest in the African National Congress for senior positions. But interestingly, when I asked whether she believes that the election was free and fair, she doesn't want to commit. She is basically saying, look, we're going to have to make an assessment. And I also asked her whether she supports the legal action by some of the people who are saying that they will be challenging this in court, particularly those who supported her. She's saying, I must first listen to them so that she can understand what their issues are. But as matters stand, she remains premier, and I did ask her to react to the remarks by the national chairperson of the ANC, Gwede, who yesterday said that there's no government in the Free State, both at the provincial as well as the local government level. We also, Mandasha saying that there has to be an assessment of these two levels of government in the Free State. Mxolisi Dukwana, when he was delivering the political report as well, said that there has to be an assessment. Now, I asked the Premier whether she feels that her future is secured and just how she was reacting to those. And she said, look, I've been deployed by the African National Congress, and she's saying, look, my work is clear. You can see that there's stability in the Free State. She's saying that there's an improvement in terms of governance, but she really did not respond directly to say whether she is pleased or displeased at those remarks by the national chairperson of the ANC. I'm trying to look at some of the people we can speak to just to get reaction. Dumela Ntate. We just want to understand what you make of this election, the announcement that Mxolisi Dukwana is now the chairperson of the ANC in the Free State. Do you welcome him?
That is a member of the ANC. If the elections at the conference, the IEC says that he is the man that has won the elections in terms of the numbers, that we don't know where they come from. If they say that, then I welcome it.
What do you mean you don't know where the numbers are coming from?
Look, during plenary we discussed credentials. There were issues that were discussed before the credentials were adopted. So we adopted the credentials with a total number of 650. Those issues were included in the 650. Now, what puzzles us is that now there's a story of some credentials that were dealt with after we have adopted the credentials issues. Now, it really tells you that something did not go right. But we need to follow the ANC's processes. Yeah, I'm not happy. I think I should write to the national leadership. It starts there. Yes, so that we can't just go outside the ANC's process and start to do on your own. Yeah, if those processes were fair, the National Executive Committee of the ANC will tell us.
Yeah, but the National Executive Committee of the ANC was represented here. David Mahlobo is here, Pinky Kekana is here. I saw Dinap Ule as well. And some of the people, well, Mzwandile Masina, I also saw him. Those people surely are aware of all these issues. What have they been saying as you were raising these issues with them?
No, there's a new tendency in the ANC. When you are an NEC member, you have more powers than the branches. You'll just suppress anyone. So we raise these matters. If a leader can stand in the plenary and say, I'm going to suppress you, then we'll sit down, because we cannot tend to be anarchists. So we are humble. We are willing to proceed with the process. That's why we are still here. The process is here. We are not working out. Let it proceed with those issues that we still have. So, but we will follow the processes to speak to the National Executive Committee. Remember, the people who were here, they were deployees. And remember, the same deployees are now conflicted because they said too many stories.
The renewal and the unity of the ANC, you guys are raving about this. You also reiterated that at the national conference of the ANC. Is it even possible in your province?
In the Free State, yes, it is. This renewal is through unity. But however, with these tendencies, it's going to happen, but it's going to take time. Remember, we come from a long journey where things were not correct. But with President Ramaphosa that we support, we believe that he will take steps to ensure that all the provincial conferences that sits are credible. So that at the end of the day, people don't have to run to courts in order to deal with the ANC issues. So we are still waiting. We're going to attend to those things via ANC processes.
Yeah. Next year, as we conclude, next year there will be national and provincial elections with the internal fightings within the ANC and the performance in municipalities. How do you see the ANC faring? What confidence should the people who are watching all this playing out, not necessarily members of the ANC, but supporters of the ANC, what message must they get out of all this?
Look, we just come from the national conference. You know, there were so many issues that were put on the plan of action. Now, those issues tells you that the ANC is the right direction. But there's those issues that we still need to work on. Though for now, the ANC, I can tell you, ANC will win the elections. As unhappy as I am, and the branch secretary of our three in Flay, I'm a coordinator of the branch of the elections. So I'll be assisting ANC. All those plans that are there, we need to ensure that we inform our communities, not only members of the ANC, as to these are the plans of the ANC, this is where we're going. exactly, Mali.
All right. Zondi Mandla or Mandla Zondi. Thank you
No,
so much.
Zondi Mandla.
Zondi Mandla, thank you so much for your time, sir. We sincerely appreciate. Well, Byron, we obviously will possibly hear from the newly elected leaders of the ANC here, Kolisi Dukwana, as to what his plans are in terms of uniting the factions that have been on each other's throats for so long, but also in terms of the assessment of the provincial government. In simple terms, what does it mean? Should we expect any changes at the Provincial Executive Committee? And just what would be the priority? What would be top on his priority list as the chairperson of the ANC? We heard him speaking very strongly, saying that this province had been captured and arguing that some of the capturers who operated within the corridors of the state and government, some of them are still there, saying that they are not going to let go without fighting back. We must ask him who those people are and how exactly he intends to deal with them now that he's been given full authority as the chairperson of the African National Congress in the Free State. Byron?
Thank you so much, Moloko Moloto, of course, there in the Free State for us. That was our reporter, Moloko Moloto, at the ANC provincial conference in the Free State, just giving us an update. The new leadership has been chosen. And, of course, Mxolisi Dukwana, the new chairperson there of the ANC in the Free State. It will be interesting to see what will be top of his agenda when it comes to resolving the issues there in the Free State. We know it's a province that is marred by so many problems, especially when it comes to service delivery, but also within the ANC, like Moloko just said, the structures within the ANC, those parallel structures will need to be fixed. Unity will need to be created within the party in that province specifically.